Hi, I want to talk to you about participles today and show you how to combine some more sentences. Um, First of all, I want you to remember that participles come from verbs. Okay, you've got to look for the verb in the sentence and see how you can make one of the verbs in one of the sentences into a participle and that it makes sense with the other sentences. So after you find the verb, you make it into a participle, and a participle always ends in either ed or ing. So let's look at these two sentences. Teens of the 1950s may have dressed in unfamiliar poodle skirts and black leather jackets. Now we could simply use but they, a coordinated sentence. But let's see what we can do with the participle. Look here, had. Okay, so we can do having similar problems as today's teens. Teens of the 1950s. And then we got our participle. Oops, two ones don't work. Okay. So the reason, oops, I don't want comma after having similar problems as today's teens, I put that in for clarification. You could just put having similar problems, but it doesn't indicate similar as to whom. We put it next to teens because having similar problems talks about teens rather than the poodle skirts and black leather jackets, so you don't want to put it at the end. Again, in the second two sentences, they didn't know where, I forgot an H, to go on a date. They didn't have much money to spend on a date. Again, we could make this into a compound verb, which doesn't need the comma. And we've got a compound verb here. But what we want to do now is we want to see, can we use a participle too? Because many times we rely on coordinating sentences, adding them together, when we could use something that is going to save us some words. Okay? So they didn't know where to go on the date, and they didn't have much money to spend on the date. Since this talks about they, the teens, we're going to have to put this participle before it. So, didn't have, we want to change that into not having. Remember having similar problems? Not having much money to spend on a date. They didn't know where to go. And we can take off on a date because we already said that. Okay? Now, let's boop, 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 boop. We could also say they didn't have much money to spend on a date. And we could go not knowing. See, I took the knowing, but the negative. Where to go on a date. And again, I'm going to get rid of spend on a date. Okay? Just on a date's what I went off. Oh, it's going to act up today. Sorry. Okay. So here I took the knowing and changed it into. I like the way the other one worked better, but you have options. Okay, their answer, did I type that right? Yeah. Their answer solved these teens' dating problems once and for all. Teens lined up to eat the new Golden Arches fast food restaurant. Solved is what you want to turn it out into a participle. So I'm going to talk about solving because it's the teens. solving, I would just say, teenage dating problems once and for all. The teens lined up. Notice I took solved and turned it into solving, and I've got a nice participle there. Again, I took solved to make it solving. And because it's referring to teens, you want that as close to teens as you can get. Okay, the museum is called Museum Number 1 Store. And then we've got the museum commemorates a momentous event in American teen history. Well, we want to get rid of the museum because it is repetitive, but we can't leave commemorates. We've got to go commemorating. And I have commemorating next to store because what is the store commemorating? It's commemorating a momentous event. So we want to put that as close to store as possible. Now notice up here, when I created the participles and I put them in the very beginning of the sentences, I put a comma. When they're at the end, you don't need it. Okay? Guys bought their girls a quick bite. After this, they stood and gobbled their McMeals. They zoomed off to their local sock hop and drag race. Now, in this, we want to keep guys bought, and we could change these two into a participle and that into a participle and have participles that coordinate. We have more than one. We're going to put them together with and. So we want to save after this. Oh no, we don't put it there. Guys bought their girls a quick bite. Oops. Standing instead of stood. Gobbling their Big Macs, comma, then zooming, off. Now I put a comma here because, oops, I didn't get the rest of this up here. Let's do that. I put the comma there because these two things go together, quick bite, standing, and gobbling, okay? But then there's something else, and I'm going to put that comma there just to show those two things, biting and gobbling, or standing and gobbling, go together, and this does. You could also say quick bite, standing, gobbling. In fact, I'd take out gobbling. Well, you don't have to. Gobbling, and then zooming, because you're adding the participles together. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Good luck on the quiz, and good luck on studying for the midterm. If you have any questions about studying for the midterm, let me know. I have the midterm available at the end of this week. However, it's not due till the end of the week that we get back from break. So you've got 2 weeks to work on it. Take your time.